So much apologies today. The projector I was told is not coming on, but she's been speaking. She's live now on the live streaming, and she's been speaking.
Okay.
So I think um,
Morning, everyone.
we'll
I
just
hope I can be heard. I hope I can be heard.
yes, you are heard, ma. But the picture
Hello.
is not out, so they will just listen to only your voice, ma. Ma, you are heard.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, you are heard, mama.
Good morning. Can I be heard, please? Can I be heard, please? Can I get the
Yes,
confirmation? Can I get the confirmation, please?
yes, you are heard. Please, somebody type go on the live stream and let her know that she's heard. But the picture is
Maybe I
not
should
up,
just
but she could just go
maybe
ahead.
I should just speak on.
Please go on the live stream. So
I
sorry
bring greetings in the name of the
about
Lord, and I
all this
thank God
technical.
for. I bring greetings in the name of the Lord,
Okay.
and I thank this opportunity. Praise the Lord. Good morning, everyone. Praise the Lord. Good morning, everyone. I believe I'm being heard. I believe I'm being heard.
Yes, you're being heard, man. Ma, go ahead. We're hearing you loud and clear. Only no picture.
I just, I just, I just. Hello, hello.
Hello. You're heard, ma. Just go on,
Okay,
ma,
I'll
and
just
speak.
continue. Good morning and welcome to this wonderful program that has been put together for our beloved brothers and sisters, children who are
Ma, we're still with you. I think there's issue with our network over there. Has it come back? Okay. She has gone off, maybe having issue with our network. I think we send a message to her on the live stream that whenever she's ready, she will come back. But we'll go ahead with it. Obviously, we have to um, give the activities today a fast pace, so that we go to the main things we have. We'll be talking about so many things. I think she's back now. Okay. Okay. Ma, you can go ahead, ma. Although I can see you the whole to be an issue with your audio. We are not hearing you, man. Okay, it's gone off again. There's a message on as I'm looking at. Okay. Um, there's so many things we will have to talk about, but as I told you, we'll
Today,
put it short
today,
in
can I go
righteousness.
on? Can I go on?
Please put a message there that there's an issue with her audio, is making cracking sound, we cannot hear her. And then maybe she should turn off the phone, come back, or if she turns off the phone, we should lose the connection she has. She shouldn't turn it off, but she should just try and check the audio position, so that.
Between the point and the
Oh, okay, you can hear me. Please, we can hear you too. We've been patiently waiting.
all right, all right.
Yes, ma'am.
So can I go
So
ahead?
can I go ahead?
Yes, you can go ahead, ma'am. We are hearing you very clear now.
Okay. So once
Okay.
again, I
So
say
once
welcome
again,
to
I say
everybody,
welcome to everybody,
and I'm
and
excited
I'm
right here,
excited right
hoping
here,
I
hoping
had wished
I had
to
wished
be there,
to be there,
but I
but
know that
I know that
the
the
team is very
team
strong,
is very
capable,
strong,
and
capable,
everything is
and
going well.
everything is going well.
Welcome everybody,
Welcome everybody,
all our
all our
atten- our discussants,
discussants,
all the
all the
medium and
medium
scale
and scale
industry um,
industry um,
entrepreneurs.
entrepreneurs.
I speak
I
with all
speak with
humility,
all humility,
welcoming all the
welcoming all the
CEOs
CEOs
and
and
the government
the government
officials that are around
officials
with
that are
us.
around with
I
us.
want to say
I
thank
want
you
to say
so,
thank you
so much for
so
coming.
much for coming.
Now, today we are
Now, today
gathered
we are gathered
to give
to
voice
give voice
to
to
the law that
the
has been
law that has been
magnanimously
magnanimously
passed,
passed,
domesticated in Bayelsa.
domesticated
It's
in
a
Bayelsa.
national,
It's a national,
um, it's a law
it's
that
a law that
tells people
tells
it
people
discrimination is a
discrimination is a
no.
no.
So it is
So it
titled
is titled
discrimination
discrimination
against persons
against
with
persons with
disabilities
disabilities
um, uh,
um, uh,
law. You know, it's a
law.
law that
It's a law
prohibits
that
it. It's a
prohibits
prohibition
it's a
law.
prohibition law.
And we are grateful to
And we
God
are
for
grateful to
giving
God
us the
for giving us the
opportunity to be
opportunity
part of
to
the
be part
process
of the
to
process
domesticate it
to
in
domesticate it in
Bayelsa State
Bayelsa State
in Nigeria.
in Nigeria.
My desire has
My
been
desire has
that people with
been that people with
disabilities are
disabilities
given the
are given
opportunity
the
to be
opportunity
part
to
of
be part of
what others
what
are
others
enjoying.
are
That's
enjoying.
what the Lord
That's what the
has
Lord
come to do.
has come.
The one in
The one in
Bayelsa
Bayelsa,
is an
an
agency that
agency
empowers
that empowers
people with
people with
disability to have
disabilities to have
access
access
and so many other
and
things.
many
But the
other
one we
things.
are
But the one
focusing
we are
on
focusing
today
on
is about
is about
employment.
employment.
Employment,
Employment,
you know,
you know,
nothing works in
nothing
any
works in
society
any
without
society
law.
without law.
People desire
People
to do well,
desire
but
to
as
do well,
human
but
beings,
as human beings, some-
we just
we
seem
just
to fail.
seem to fail.
So whether it
So
is
whether it is
failure by
failure
choice
by
or
or
failure
failure
by
by
ignorance,
ignorance,
once there is a
once there
law,
is a
it
law,
harmonizes
it
everyone
harmonizes
and
everyone
all
and
comply.
all comply.
And for those for
For
whom the
those
law
for
is
whom the
settled
law is
are
settled
sure to
are
enjoy the
sure to
benefit
enjoy
of
the
it.
benefit of it.
So today we
So
are
today
saying
we
let
are
us
saying let
err
us
on mind.
err on
What can
what
be the
can be
difficult
the difficult
in
in
implementing this law?
implementing this law.
Is the law
Is the law
sensitive to the needs
sensitive to
of
the
the
needs of the
entrepreneurs themselves?
entrepreneurs themselves?
How can we
How can
ourselves
we
become
ourselves
empathetic
become
enough
empathetic enough
to
to
feel how
feel
the people
how
with
the
disabilities
people with
feel,
disabilities feel,
desiring to ensure
desiring to
that
ensure
their
that
pains are
their pains are
collectively carried
collectively
by
carried
all of
by
us?
all of us.
And
And
the reason
that's
why,
the
larger
reason
than I
why, larger than
put
I
this program
put this
together,
program together,
in
in
commemoration of
commemoration
the
of
Down
the
Syndrome
Down Syndrome
Day, was on the 21st of March. It says together against loneliness. Just imagine when you have opportunity, you have capacity to serve, to work, or even to play, or to do sport, and you are excluded, you are discriminated against, you are told to go and sit down in one corner, you are told you don't need to be seen, just stay away. It creates loneliness. We are here to speak against loneliness. We are here to walk against loneliness. So we are gathering together against loneliness. And in this case, loneliness with regards to opportunity to be employed, occasion, to be able to make a living. Loneliness with regards to being able to go out and mix with others and share your idea with others and feel relevant, in the society. Contribute your own quota to the society. So I welcome you all, and I believe that we will have a lot to learn. We will hear from a self-advocate by the grace of God. For know that disability is not the end of the road. What makes for the end of the road is when people, the society, is unable to empathize and be in our shoes, which is what causes, issues with people with disabilities. When everybody comes together to welcome them, to accept them, they don't have any issue. So once again, I welcome you with joy, and I will endeavor to be with us online also. I would have been there, but for some challenges that had to be faced. Challenges always do come, they come and they go. Most times we're either in one, coming out of one, or about to go through one. But the God we serve always ensures that challenges are well handled by faith and grace of God. So thank you once again, and please enjoy the time, ensuring that contribute your own ideas and quota so that we come up with a kind of write-up, kind of a paper that present as what stakeholders have come together to produce. Thank you very much once again. God bless you. Wonderful in this roundtable program. Thank
We can do it better, please. Let's put our hands together for our mama. Apparently, there are so many things we take away from here. With all the obstacles and delays, technical issues we've had, this brother has come on now. But we've gone past all that now. I'll call up bro Mr. Chiefson, our director of M&E, to come and recognize. We have some guests here, and as you know, the program is going to be engaging. It's just going to acknowledge them, then we'll go to the next set of the program, and then go to the next one, and then the next one. Please, Mr. Chiefson.
Thank you, sir. Once again, I want to appreciate every single one. Just put your hands together for yourself. Okay, you're all welcome to this event. It's a first of its kind where we're inviting businesses for this kind of meeting, so our voices will be heard and how we can collaborate to work better in this society. So I want to first of all appreciate. Right here we have Mrs. Alazia Timine Bifi. That's the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Investment. Thank you, welcome. Really appreciate you for being with us. We love that you are here. When I met with the PS, and we spoke, she was happy, and she even communicated more ideas that what we can do in form of collaboration, so we can work better, more efficiently in this land. And I was happy that she was open to know what we do, and also um, give us ideas on how we can make things better in collaboration. Okay, thank you. We thank the commissioner. I know we are representing him here, so thank you for coming. Also, in our list, we have the MD of Ayala Hotels, Mr. Evan O. Samuel. Can I see you, please? Oh, okay. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome. I know when we had a meeting with your manager, she was very, very happy of what we were doing. We had a long conversation, and she had a lot of things to say. So, thank you. You're designated to be in this program, and I appreciate that. We all appreciate that. Then also, from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, there are two directors that were sent here. We also have Mrs. Woyoka A. Wilson. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, we have from Lawsy Supermarkets, Mr. Alexander Francis. Thank you for coming. Also, we have the chairman of the Joint National Association of Persons with Disability here with us, Comrade Major. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. We can see when we um, we'll talk more about it in the course of the program. It will be spoken of. To be spoken of, where inclusion and accessibility of venues, of places are very, very important. And that's one of the key things that we want to talk about. When we looked at this organization, this place where we found there's no ramp that will lead the person from. So it was we really apologize for that, sir. We apologize because that was not put to view. Because it was about yesterday that we observed that this place, there's no ramp, and how will people go up? So we're like, if we're having any program in any event center, it has to be the first floor. Except it's an organization that where there is a ramp or is an elevator, except that. But as part of accessibility, because we're talking about the disability bill, when the agency is put to effect, these are the kind of things they would point out. Up to a two-story building does have a ramp, how people go there. So it's a challenge, and that's why we are here to talk and rub minds to make things better. Thank you for being here. Also, we have here the admin of Best Breed here with us, Mrs. Ferre Fatai. Welcome, for being here. Because we can see we've introduced um, um, markets, shopping malls, hotels. We also have introduced schools, because these are different facets where people with disability or we tend to find themselves there. In our organization, we have a school called Larger Than International Schools, and there's a person that's employed. Is a person with disability. She's employed in that, and where she was to serve or work before, she had an issue with the board. So because she could not access the board in the school, she could not have that job. But she has degrees, everything is right, but she could not access that job just because of that. They didn't make the place better for her to work. So when she came to our facility, we had to ensure that the board is in a place where she can access it easily. That's what we're talking about. Because before we talk about people, MDs having providing aids that will help people with disability, the attitude needs to change first. If the attitude has not changed, there's no way you will now make systems to ensure people would have those access. So if the attitude does not shift, the mindset is just take them away. There's no way you will not prepare that kind of system. And we understand that to get certain gadgets it would not be easy. But first of all, the attitude needs to shift first. When the attitude has had that shift, that is when we can now have that inclusion and acceptance. There's a difference between when someone is in a place just present, and also when it means when someone is included. It's a different different ball game entirely. So that's what we are here to do. Also, we have the manager of Top Ranks Hotel. Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir. Hotel. It's a place where you see people. There's more of relation. It's people come in, out, and they have a lot of places where people could work. So how would they treat persons? Not just also employability. When they see persons like that, how do they treat them? So if that attitude shift is not there, there's no way, because every place, every sector in the world, there are persons with disability. Every sector. So we appreciate every one of you for making out time to be here. We thank you, and we believe that when we discuss, we will get more insight and ensure that our Bayelsa State will be better in inclusion. Thank you all for being here. Then, sorry, if there are two, there's one very key information I have to give also too. Here with us, we have one of our panelists that will be speaking to us. And here with us is our pastor, Pastor Hakim Adebanjo. He is the pastor of SVCC Okaka here in Bayelsa State. We appreciate you for being here, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. He's not here in his capacity as a pastor. He's a seasoned HR consultant. He has recruitment and all that. So we're trying to work with time now. And I was meant to give a talk about loneliness and employability and all that. But I will just tell it like a short story. I will make available the slides and all that, maybe to the people that attend later. Loneliness is a very, very dangerous thing. It's when you have desires, aspirations, and you are not able to meet up. I don't know whether you've ever wondered in yourself. This morning I was listening to the radio and I was told that attempted suicide is a criminal offense in Nigeria, and you go to, if you attempt suicide and you don't die, and they will take you to jail for 1 year. I say, but the law is the law. But is the person well to be thinking of suicide? Loneliness is one of the things. I can't stand it alone. I can't just. The society now is filled with a lot of loneliness. People look for sense of belonging. And it's a very, very challenging thing. It leads to sometimes this depression. It leads to not being able to fulfill your potential, and then all that vices that goes along with it. But for us generally, what about people with special needs that people usually refer to as people with disability, living with disability? People with special needs, it means their own potential for loneliness will also be special, because the society does not. I've heard it before. It's very painful. I am a sociologist by training, and as a behavioral scientist, I know that people say, we will never get space. Now, this one will no complete self won't get space. That it's. I was privileged to live abroad, work with people with special needs abroad and all that. I know that it's different. Even our church, there are seats. If every other person is struggling for a seat, I went to an Ejibo church. If every other person is struggling for the wheelchair, seat for wheelchair, you see the banner there for wheelchair. So even if you are standing on yourself, but their space is reserved, how will they climb up? So loneliness is as a result of not being able to engage or do the things you desire or associate or get involved in society the way you would have wanted to. Now, how can we deal with loneliness? I told you I prepared a slide for this, but I'll make it available to us. Generally, our focus now, because Larger Than Life is focused on helping and being a voice and standing with people with special needs. Now, you see on my t-shirt now, and even on our poster, you saw one very fine boy there. He's somebody I knew. I saw him, I watched him grow up before he went to be with the Lord. His name is Joshua. And it's as a result of his, 10 years after his life, that's why when our president and founder, God was dealing with him, and then the larger than I was born out of that experience of that young man. So when you see his face now, you see there's hope. Even in death, he's still propelling a lot of things. He's still making impact. So there are different ways to help to deal with this loneliness. And there's one saying that we have in our generally in the society. The idle my hand is what? Devil's workshop. Workshop is there, but when the person is idle, if he's occupied in his workshop, then he will be productive in his workshop. They say workshop. Some people say workshop. But the idle mind is the mind that is not engaged, that is not employed, that is not having access to the things that needs to have access to. Well, in their wisdom, the federal government, the Nigerian state, recognize that there should be something to be done. Loneliness is not just you wish it away. One thing we know is that there's this we concept. We always tend to belong to certain group and then identify with certain group and then try to. But if there's no law in place, if there's no dimension in place that curtails the activity of people, people will do the way people say generally human being naturally without having the fear of God or anything, they're naturally very selfish. You think about yourself. In fact, some cultures even have proverbs to consolidate on that. That when fire is burning you, you kill the fire on your body first before you look at. There are a lot of all those things that, well, it's good saying, but who is going to protect? Who is going to make it available? So employment law and labor law. That's why I'm very glad that our directors from Ministry of Trade and then Industry and Trade. Now, investment. Yes, when our comrade president here, coordinator, comes to, you see him, he's able-bodied. There might be little challenges physically, but mentally he's sound. I've had just the interaction I had with him, with our director of legal services of the larger than I said, this person knows what he's doing. But such persons, even if you, by your desire, you have what good intention, you have good intentions are not good enough. There have to be enabling law. You want to do this, and I say, I live by me. We will complete self never sin. You are giving some other person. So those things will come in. In the light of this, the major thing we're now talking about is dealing with loneliness by getting them employed or employable. But there's a law to empower that or to make that come to fruition. And that's what we want to discuss now. Right now, I'll call our Director of Legal Services, Larger Than I Developmental Foundation. He has some things to teach us or let us know about. Huh? Oh? Please. No, Director. Please, let's put our hands together as Director comes to Barrister Oti. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sirs and ma'ams. It's a privilege to be standing here before you on this wonderful program. Of course, we must all lend our voices and do what we can to in favor of those with disability, because they are first of all human beings before they are challenged. Amen. So we should see them as human beings first. So the law, as it appertains to Bayelsa, is tagged the Agency for Persons with Disability Law of Bayelsa State. This law is an offshoot of the Prohibition Against Persons with Disability, Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Prohibition Act of 2018, which is now fully in force, because as at the passing of the law provides that it gives a 5-year window period for organizations, both government and private, as far as the place is a public place, and other areas too, for them to put those places, put the things that are needed for persons with disability to have access to those places in place. And of course, if you calculate from 2018 till now, it's over 5 years. And the federal law is already in force. But that of Bayelsa State just came, was just passed, I think last year. Yes, 2025. So, although I'm not too sure of the assent of the governor, because as at the last time I made efforts to find out, the person that was going to give me that information was not available. So, but the law has been passed by the State House of Assembly, and the law is made pursuant to, like I said, the Act. And the law seeks to create an agency that will be saddled with implementing the law. As far as persons with disability are concerned, it also makes provisions to guarantee and protect the rights of persons with disability in Bayelsa State, with the aim of bringing about an all-inclusive society where discrimination in any form against persons with disability is completely eliminated. Now, the law, of course, the first part of the law acknowledges the agency, the creation of the agency, and everything that has to do with the agency. Section 1, Section 2 of the law says that provisions for the establishment of the agency, functions of the agency, and composition of the agency. Of course, we know that the agency is the vehicle through which the law will be implemented properly. So that agency is to be established by the government. Then Section 3 to Section 7 of the law makes provision for establishment, composition, tenure, and functions, vacation, and meetings of the board. The board will be responsible with piloting the affairs of the agency. Now, the chairman of the board, by the law, is supposed to be a person with disability. It's expressly stated in the law that the person who's going to be the chairman of the board that will run the agency, is necessarily going to be a person with disability, because the law has clearly stated that. Section 8 to 12 provides for the Director General of the agency, like I said, who shall be appointed by the governor and shall be a person with disability. Funds of the agency, structure of the agency, and collation of statistical and research data. Section 13 to 15 makes provision to aid disabled persons in public transport, assignment of special seats in vehicles, vessels, trains, and reservation of public parking lots for persons with disability. Like public transport now, every public transport owner must contemplate persons with disability. It says 2 seats out of every 10 seats must be kept for persons with disability. Trains and reservation of public parking lots. Of course, public parking lots, there are places that will be marked conspicuously that they are for persons with disability. So if you park there, you are fallen foul of the law, and there are penalties, either in fine and imprisonment, or both, depending on the circumstance. Section 16 to 18 makes provision for prohibition of discrimination and harmful treatment against persons with disabilities. Prohibition from cruelty and inhuman treatment, violation of which attracts fine of 100,000 naira, 100,000 naira, or 3 months imprisonment, or both. Standard of living and special protection consideration is given to persons with disabilities in welfare programs, social development, poverty reduction, and other programs. Provision of social security for persons with disabilities that are 60 years and above. Then where accommodation is being provided by schools, employers, organizations, government, in any other circumstances whatsoever, persons with disabilities shall be given a consideration of 5%. Then sections 19 to 22 makes provision for right to access facilities in public buildings. Like this place is a public building, even though it's owned by a private person, but because it's being used for public purposes. So you must make it accessible to persons with disability. It provides that building plans must conform with the building codes. Those structures have not come up yet. Before you erect those structures, you must get the building code, which is in contemplation of persons with disability. Where there is a complaint of inaccessibility or a barrier against persons with disability to where they have a right to access, they can approach the court for redress on the infringement of their right. Where there is a barrier, the barrier must be removed. Failure to comply means an offense is committed, and such a corporate body or individual is liable to pay 50,000 naira for each day of the default. Yes, so they will calculate the 50,000 naira for 2 years, and you pay. And 5,000 naira for an individual for each day of default. It provides for the 5 years period upon the law coming into force for building and public facilities to comply to the building codes. Of course, this is very good. Give people the opportunity to bring their structures up to speed with the law. It also deals with situations of risk or humanitarian emergencies. Persons with disabilities would also be given preference in queues where there are queues. Persons with disability. So if you are in a queue and they're not giving persons, you need to raise your voice. Please, there's a law that says you must give this person preference. Section 23 is dedicated to rights of children with disability. You know, if you look at the law, you see where it has. Then section 24 to 30 makes provision for rights. Even in hospitals, they are discriminated against. You know, a doctor will say, I will not treat this one. That doctor has fallen foul of the law. It can be taken up. Right to education, right to work. Any person liable to have 100,000 naira in breach shall be liable on conviction to a fine of 500,000 naira. 500,000 naira, yes. Then right to freedom. Of course, another thing that should be spoken here when it has to do with right to freedom, by our constitution, the fundamental human rights that apply to every human being also applies to persons with disability. So they have that right to freedom of movement, right to freedom of expression, right to freedom of owning properties, you know, anywhere in Nigeria, as far as they are Nigerians. It should not be discriminated against, you know. The right to drive, they also have a right to drive. Vehicles are put in such a way that it would enable them to drive. Right to communal life, right to participation in cultural life, recreation, leisure, and sports. Yes, of course, we have them. A lot of them are in sports, you know, these special sports that they do. Then right to participate in, yes, I've said that already. Then section 31 makes provisions for the agency is the one driving the law, so the agency will have power to make regulations, putting the changing trends or times, or as things change, they make provisions for regulations to suit that time as far as persons with disabilities are concerned. Section 32, of course, is the interpretation section. Then section 33 is the citation section. Now, of course, the purpose of this is that we're all working towards creating that environment where persons with disability can be engaged so that we can eliminate loneliness for them. And what better platform, because every person here represents a business, an organization, and all of that. So we all working together to see that the issue of loneliness will be dealt with. And I believe that that will, as we go, as we move, as this as the law is implemented properly and all of us playing our roles, that will definitely come to fruition. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you. We'll go straight into a very important part of this our gathering. If you have questions, just get them ready. We'll be able to attend to them. Yeah, we're going to have a panel of 4 persons. I think we need one chair more here. Representing different walks of life and different sectors. I'll call Brother Chieftain now to call up the panelists. Please leave that another person should bring it up. Mr. Chieftain.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Just ensure your questions are written, your contributions, just prepare them. So when we get to that as time, we will do that. Okay. The first panelist that I'm calling here is Mrs. Priye Weber. Just put your hands together as she comes. She's a parent that has a child with disability and is part of Larger Than I Developmental Foundation. She's also a team member. And she has a company too. She's a MD herself. So it's a full package for my end. Also, as was spoken, Barrister OT will be coming back. Barrister OT, out of the panelists, because everything we're doing here is about legal. Everything is about legal and inclusion. So the law is very important. So when we're discussing, there will be time where you would speak too. Then we also have Pastor Akim Adebanjo. Okay. Thank you, sir. Then also I have my humble self. Shifting I'm in. Okay. If you have questions like MD had stated, we would ask. You could prepare them so when the time comes, you will ask those questions. Amen. Okay. And first of all, we will just have a little bit of a kind of introduction for our panelists as to what they do, so that you know when I'm in the business forum, what you need to know about them.
Good afternoon. My name is Nancy Priye. I'm an entrepreneur. I've also postdoc and I'm also a philanthropist.
Okay. My name is Amaidi Desmond Oti Esquire. I'm a lawyer. I am employed by the Bayelsa State Government. I work with the Ministry of Justice, and I'm volunteering for Larger Than I Developmental Foundation as the Director of Legal Services.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Akim Adebanjo. I'm a pastor, yes. I'm a business consultant, an HR professional. I do recruitment, trainings. I'm also a business development consultant. I am a farmer. Also, of course, I also run a few businesses. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. I'd have to introduce myself again. Okay. So we would go right away to what we want to do, and the 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 first thing I would want to ask is for Mrs. Priye. What have you seen? What is loneliness for you in your own language as it concerns for business? If you've seen people with disability in those kind of situations, what has been your experience so far?
Loneliness for me, as regards my special needs child, is when you have an opportunity to go out, but then you're not able to because you have that special child that you at times you're not comfortable going out with that child because of the way the child behaves. So you want to I want to go out with this child, but because of the reaction of others around, you may not want to go out with the child. So at that point, you'll be there's like a setback. So you have to come back. So that will also give room to missed opportunities because you have to stay back with the child, and you lost opportunities at that time. So loneliness is not a good one, but we have to at times look for a way to bend around it so we don't get so overwhelmed with the situation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Um, as regards businesses, when I was speaking, I spoke of attitude, attitude change, attitude change that businesses could have in form of inclusion. So I would want our barrister to give us a little talk about inclusion for businesses. What should businesses do in the matter of inclusion?
Of course, businesses basically would have to, of course, it starts with change of attitude, like you said. Um, they would have to know that there are people with disability in our society who may not have that physical capacity, but they have intellectual capacity. They can work. So they should be given the opportunity. Of course, when you are, um, let's say you want to employ persons to work, the law says that you must create equal opportunity for persons with both persons who do not have disability and person disability. You don't discriminate against them. Create equal opportunity for them to, in terms of the process of getting the job, so that they don't feel left out. Then also, business premises, which is very, very important, must put persons with disability in contemplation. You must now bring your business premise to up to speed with the current trends, with what the law has said. Um, Building of ramps, building of making provision for lift where it is a high-rise building. You must do all of that in order to create that enabling environment, so that, of course, at the fore, you've already said, oh, I'm considering these persons. If I'm making provision for those things, just shows that I'm considering persons with disability, and opportunities that are available, they can also be included. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. This question I want to ask, it's to Pastor Pastor Akim. He he has done a lot of he has made a lot of people for employment. He has an employment agency where he has those interface with people. First of all, if he has had those encounters with anybody with disability in those kind of meetings.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone, again. The subject of disability when it comes to companies, businesses, and what I've encountered, well, maybe on a few occasions, but I remember, I think last year, we did some consulting work with the MasterCard Foundation where we had to mentor youths across Nigeria. And that last sets had to do specifically with people with disabilities. So it
Mm.
was it was a direct contact and experience with them. We had physical trainings with them, we had virtual trainings with them, and it just opened my eyes to a lot of things that we are missing actually. And I began to realize that a lot of these people that we actually discount have so much. A lot of them have so much. In fact, all across the north, there are many of them. In fact, all across the north and south of Nigeria, there are many of them that are running businesses successfully, very sound, running businesses, and their businesses are doing well. So we need to be able to, because see, the truth is, we are all a product of our society. Unfortunately, we live in a society um, that is not very organized. You know, we need to be able to change the mind of people in our society towards these people, because I have come to realize that they are nothing different from us. Yeah, they may have physical challenges, but society already you are biased towards them. It's just like, and you know, your attitude is the result of your belief system. If your belief system is wrong, your attitude towards them are going to be wrong. So, because the truth is, we would always have these people amongst us. You know, we can't do away with them. They are part of society, and so we must respond to them. We must find a solution. We must find a way to accommodate them. He talked about equality, but I would rather focus more on equity, because equality, yes, is providing the same what's it called, common grounds for everybody, or fair chances for everybody. But there are times that you have to take a step beyond even equality to equity. Equity would mean that, you know, I sorry, I'm taking a bit of your time. I saw a picture some time ago. So there were this three group of people. They were watching a football match across a fence, and then there was one short one, and then one average height, and the other one was a tall one. Because the three of them were watching across a fence. Of course, the guy that was the short one could not see the fence because it was very short, and they, you know, and then they described that as equality, because I mean it's the same. They are three of them on the same floor, the same height. And then there was another picture where there was a platform, a raised platform, for the shorter one to stand on and the other one to stand on. So that is what I consider as equity, because you now begin to consider their challenges, and now you can help them to come up. So it's a serious work, and it has to start somewhere. But in terms of my experience, maybe recruiting, the challenge I think I've seen here is that even the challenge people themselves cannot apply for opportunities. They don't. And I think again it has to do with how our society has bastardized their psyche. Because they begin to believe that even able-bodied people are not getting the jobs. Is it me that they will not consider? So it's a long way we have to go. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. You have already gotten to the second question I was to ask you. The question I was to ask, the second question is how the persons, or the one or two persons you've seen, how their attitudes towards work, how their attitude towards work, because you need someone that's able to do work and not just only help me. I think there was this last World Down Syndrome Day, and the team was with us and not for us. So don't just do things for us. We want to be parts of what you're doing. We want to be part of the system, not just for us. We want to be. I remember when our MD, he had an encounter with. He told me that there are persons with disability I've seen. You try to help me, they ask you, why are you helping me? That's overseas. Like, why are you helping me? Are you trying to? This is for me, or they want to be involved. I can help myself. I can help myself. You don't just help them because you have that natural pity or something that we see. So, what do you have to say about that, sir?
Again, from my experience with the disabled community, you know, from the one I had last year, and just to assent to what you said, we had a training before we went into that project. A part of the training was that as a professional, you don't. Some of these people don't like you pitying them, as in trying to. Because I mean, for those that know, you know, because a few times, so while engaging with some of them, you know, maybe sometimes you want to talk to them, you start by saying sorry. You know, I had that kind of situation, and the person asked me, "Why are you telling me sorry?" I mean, why are you telling me sorry? Just give me the information you want to give me. I'm okay. I'm fine. So, but that takes for those that have come out of that shell. Maybe by reason of the people around them, the community support they've had. Some of them have come out of that, belief system that they are disadvantaged. So those are, but majority of them are still on the other side. And so, like I said, society has to rally around and provide assistance and provide help for them as they require, because we live in a society that kills is weak. Yeah, our society plagues on the weak. Our society does not support the weak. We kill the weak, and it ought not to be so. If you are, I'm sorry, I need to refer to the Bible. You remember the story of David with what's this guy, Mephibosheth, Saul's grandson. I mean, you could go and read the story. You see what David did. He was actually looking for this guy, and then he found him, brought him to the palace, gave him back his father's land, and all of those kind of things. Those are the things that we are expected to do for these people. But you see, the truth is that change is going to start with all of us, with you and with me. If we don't, coming to the employment space, my experience with MSMEs, for example, you will find that the way MSMEs do business organized, they don't have policies. They don't have policies. In fact, they don't have business plan. Not to now talk of HR policies. If you don't have policies that addresses how you recruit, how are you going to be able to address issues of challenges with people that are disabled? So, like I said, it's a long road, and I just thank Larger Than I for providing this opportunity. Maybe if we keep doing this, our society will actually wake up. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that in-depth information. Okay, the next question is to Mrs. Beauty Weber. Having heard the law, the things that it provides, how do you feel? How does it affect a parent with especially what's that thing that it does to you in here that is a law that has been passed for that purpose?
It's a good one, actually. I think most parents with a special child will be pleased with such a law being passed. Um, for me, my child is still very young, so I can't really pick him, but it's actually a good one.
Oh,
It's a welcome development.
Okay, and also too, in a part of what you're not aware of, you cannot enjoy of it. I met a particular business organization, and when speaking concerning this program, the man made a statement that if the law has been passed, they would know. If the law is in action here in Brazil, they would know. I now asked him, are you aware that the law has been passed? Were you aware that something was happening? He was quiet. So there's a part of the information, parents, what will you have to say about parents being aware if they are looking out for these informations, then trying to know what the law says about it, what kind of attitude they have? Because if the parents not get to know these informations, how will they now get to enjoy the contents in it?
It has to start with awareness. They have to know about it first. So if they don't know, how would they fit in? So I think it has to be maybe mouth to mouth, or agencies like this getting it down to the grassroots for parents to know, so they can actually come out and benefit from it.
Okay, thank you.
I think that for Nigeria, our problem is not enacting laws. Our problem is implementing laws. That's our problem. There are so many beautiful laws we have. The challenge is implementation. I'm talking about societal awareness. You see, sometimes it's a function of literacy level, because if I ask you now, those of us that are here, we heard about the new tax laws, and that we have to do tax filing March 31st. How many of us did it? If I ask now, you find nobody did it. So the law is there. But whether the government has what it takes to implement is a completely different thing, actually. And I think that's where we should focus our attention on now. You know, the average Nigerian, we are not even aware. We don't listen to news. We don't even know what is going on.
Yeah.
Not to now talk of law that has to do with disability. So there's a whole lot of work. What I expect, for example, once the law is signed, is that the government will go on social media, go on radio, create sensitization campaigns, you know. If it's possible, make big billboards people can see, because that is the only way you can bring about social awareness. Without those things, it's not going to work. So it's good to have the law. At least that's a starting point, that okay, we even have a law. But now the challenge is, do the people know? There are certain things. If you meet Nigerian policemen now, they ask you. They actually, those people actually thrive on your ignorance, because you know, they know you don't know the law. But if you know your law, you're aware of it. There are a lot of things they get away with, they won't get away with. So we have a lot of the government, particularly, and then with the activities of NGOs, like Larger Than I, and what we are doing, I'm expecting, I believe that maybe the attitude will begin to change as people become more and more aware of, you know, the existence of these laws. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
I wanted to say part of what he has said. I think basically awareness is key. Awareness, creating sensitization. And from this law, the body that, when it is set up, that would do that, I think is the agency.
Yeah.
And that's why we should, we are believing that the agency will be set up. Because one thing to pass the law is another thing to implement the law. Like he said, we have laws in this country, we have laws in this state. In fact, there are some laws that I say, I'm like, these laws save the, you know, yes, there are laws, but so many persons don't know that those laws exist. So when their rights are being trampled upon, they cannot even do anything, you know. And so the implementation is what is key, from the part of the government, from the part of private bodies like Larger Than I. Other NGOs should take it upon themselves to carry out regular sensitization on these things, the law and other things that are available, so that we can run from there, basically.
Thank you so much. The way the conversation is going, I can see it's building, right? And when a question is asked, it seems like we are going to the other part of my question already, because I was asked about the implementation, whose body will be in charge of it, and you've already given us that information. You know, when I was speaking here also, so I reminded us that there will be a body that will come and implement this law. For instance, there's no rails that will just, no ramp that we use to climb up, no lifts. And so the agency, when they come, that's what they're looking for. They are going to those places and also to make everything better. But now the house is open for questions. If anyone has any question to ask, has any question to ask or any contribution. Okay. It's a question. Okay.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
My name is Ekbo Mokumo, Mayor Marie. By the special grace of God, I am the chairman, Joint National Association of Persons with Disability, Bayelsa State Chapter. It's a privilege to be here because today is a great day when you actually look at the World Syndrome Day. And I am the chairman for all the persons with disability in the state, including the Down syndrome, the intellectual disability. initially has 6 clusters, which is the physically challenged, the spinal cord, the albinism, the deaf, the visual impaired, and the ex-lepers. Now, intellectual disability are also included in our side, which is these people with cerebral palsy and all the rest. We have 7 now. So I send greetings from the family of the Jonapede to celebrate with them today. Initially, although every 3rd of December is a day set aside by the world to celebrate persons with disability, but all these clusters have their own various day of celebrating themselves with the spinal cord, and today is for the intellectual disability. So we celebrate with them. And I want to thank the panelists, those that are on the panel. Actually, you talk a lot, most especially our brother there, who also talk about how the way and manner people look into persons with disability. That's why most of the time we find it very difficult. I want to also bring in so your notice, because many a times when people see persons with disability trolling, they will say that what is this one is even looking for? Why can't you people stay at home? All those are discriminations. Instead of to encourage you, for examples, there was a time a girl was raped. When she wanted to make an end with her case, you can imagine a police officer who is supposed to take the case. Are you not even happy that somebody raped you? You can imagine. So if somebody with disability is being raped or molested, for we to even approach the police before seek redress is also a challenge. Because when you go there, people will be mocking at you. There was also an instance that happened in Abuja. This is a special school where we have naval officers, a lot of securities securing that school. But somebody is always coming to rape one of the students. There was a time a blind girl was raped in the presence of a deaf. She could not be able to identify or to mention the name of that person. But this last time, a deaf girl was raped in the presence of a blind. What that person has to say, until the school now come up to have a CCTV camera. To our greatest surprise, you can imagine that a security officer that used to secure the children, those are the people that are molesting these girls. So challenges, when you people are talking here, that is how it is. But currently, as we are even talking about, one major problem is the implementation. Because since the Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Act had been passed into law by former President Muhammad Buhari in 2018, 5 years was given for implementation. As I am talking to you, even though if you go to the federal government, Abuja, there are some facilities, buildings that could not be accessible. There's no enforcement. So another one is here. Bayelsa has been, the bill has been passed, but if the governor has sent, what is the fate of persons with disability in Bayelsa State? Implementation and enforcement, that is another thing. But I am talking to you, even the employment issue, like DU currently is doing unemployment. I approach the school, we write to them that at least 5% should be for us. How many persons are you employing? But they could not be able to tell us. Until it was last week when we went there. The government list is like this. Governor sent names, this. So we could not be able to, we want to give you people only one chance. You can imagine. So those are the challenges we are facing. Not that our people are not intellectually or are not be able. A lot of us are graduates that have the opportunity to at least go for this work. But when you go there, they will use one language or one other thing to. So the challenge is enormous. But we are saying that at least the society, because as I am on this wheelchair, it is not somebody or people that are on wheelchair that gave birth to me that I'm on this wheelchair. But all my children are able. But my parents are able. I am a disabled person. So today what we are trying to say here, disability, you can escape disability when you die premature as an able person. Because when you age, disability is also coming. But majority of us, we could not be able to read our books without glass. That is a disability. So the society everybody need to accommodate, to make sure that all of us one. Inclusivity is what we are talking about. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Is there any question? Okay.
I don't know if we're already in afternoon. If it is, good afternoon, everybody. Okay, my question now is, if I am unaware of the disability law and probably I'm found discriminating somebody with disability, and probably I am now a victim of discrimination, I will pay a fine, right? Or I will be imprisoned. So what is my excuse? In order not to pay the fine or be imprisoned.
Okay. To answer that question, there's a principle in law that ignorance of the law is no excuse. It will not excuse you. As far as there's a law and you have breached the law, whether you are aware or you're not aware, or you will be liable. So that's why it's important that you equip yourself. We are supposed to equip ourselves with the laws that we have, know the laws that we have. Because you can't tell, you may need the law, you may need to rely on the law tomorrow, or you may need to recommend the law to somebody. So if you don't know, that's why most people suffer. They suffer in ignorance. But ignorance of the law will not excuse you at that point. Yeah. Thank you.
Question or comment? Okay. Uh, I was so happy when I heard what you said, Mr. Mayor, about the addition of intellectual. I know when we had World Down Syndrome Day last year, it didn't have, right? There was no seventh cluster, right? So this is another year I'm hearing that. That's very good. That's good. I was so happy when I heard it. Because I know when we had World Down Syndrome Day last week, better. And so hearing about this now, it's a positive action that is being taken from the Joint National Association of Persons with Disability. Well done for your good work.
I'm aware that this committee is going on, the roundtable is going on well, but we're conscious of the time because of the technical issues that we have. I would like to, if I may, ask for reaction from, because it's meant to be on the program, but we are abridging everything so that it can be faster. We have some directors here. I know they are doing something, but sometimes we don't know what is done, and so we cannot assess it effectively. I have two directors here. Could you just tell us, because they were assigned, you went to the place and then they came here in full capacity. Maybe one or two things to add to the discussion might just be helpful, man. Okay, man. Thank you, man. Let's put our hands together.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm representing my honorable commissioner. He is supposed to be here, but I'm putting my small legs in his shoes, so you pardon me. Anyway, we the ministry, when Doyediri, the governor of Bayelsa State, organized his skill acquisition, we had some disabled that were involved in it. Like some of them were into catering, sewing, and they gave them special place because I was the director in charge of that program. We gave them special place. I don't know if the chairman is aware of it. We called some of them, I think those ones on wheelchairs, the ones that were not talking, the dumb and the deaf. Some of them learned makeup, some of them hairdressing, sewing, catering. And I think we gave them that special place because in SMEs, we are supposed to be, we are supposed to include them in everything that is being done on skill acquisition and SME plans in the state. Thank you.
That sounds brilliant to me. Please, let's put our hands together. When you don't know, you don't know. And then one of the things that I believe this gives us opportunity to do is, create networking. Next time I see her now, I will be able to walk confidently to her and assess her because I've seen her representing mighty director, commissioner, as a director, she will have some access to some information. Information is something you pay price to get, not just by yourself. I would like for our brother here, sir, representing that great hotel, top hotel, right? Top rank hotel. Sorry, let's just hear.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, before now, I don't really know that such organizations exist. I don't really have much to say. The only thing I want to say is that all of us here, not just about the panelists, but all of us here, should from today act as change agents to these things that are happening in society. I've personally employed few persons, but I didn't employ them because I sought for them, but because they came on their own and we were able to give them opportunity to work. But I think from today, it's going to be something that we have to be conscious about. And equally encourage, I don't know who brought the letter to my office, but on Thursday coming back, and I made it a point that I must have to be here today to know what is happening. So I think we have to be conscious about this. And equally encourage them maybe to, because we have a lot of hotels in Bayelsa here, not just Top Rank, not just I think Ayala that is equally represented here as well. We have a lot of big hotels. There is a Matokrista, there is the Abis, there are a lot of big hotels here. And we used to have a hotel owners meeting, but it's no longer effective now. But I don't know, but the chairman is still there, Mr. Pretimi, the one that has the Pretimi hotels. So if you can equally get across, because sometimes he still send messages across, if there's any emergency that comes up, that he still disseminating information to everyone. So I think encourage us not just about the hotel, but to other thinking.
Thank you, sir, for what you said. Okay, so I would like to. Okay, what I'd like to advise, since we have some SME owners here and perhaps some MDs, that taking a leaf from what he said, we should be intentional about employment or creating employment opportunities for these people, because like I said, they are part of society. So the law, I think the law requires about 5% of entire staff population reserved for people with disabilities. So let us be intentional about building that into our company policies. I know a lot of companies run around here without policies, but I think that it is time for us to begin to formalize these things. You should have HR policy, for example, as a business. So far that you have up to 3, 4, 5 staff that are working, you should develop a staff policy. And inside that staff or HR policy, things that have to do with people living with disability have to be there. They have to be protected. They have to be given opportunities. So if when you are doing recruitment, for example, or you are using consultants to do recruitment, you have to tell them to ensure that if you are employing 20 persons, at least 5% of those people on their merit, not because you understand what I'm saying. Because there are some that you have them, they have the experience, they have the qualification, but on their own merit, at least give them the opportunity to even be interviewed first, and that would go a long way. Thank you.
That being intentional would also be that, let's say there is a vacancy for one position and you are putting out an advertisement to employ. It should be specific. It should be a person with disability. That's also that would also help to ensure that we all, are trying to see how we can help fight loneliness and have an all-inclusive society in terms of persons with disability. Needed to add that.
Thank you all for your contributions. Just one question that I would ask before I make a comment about the SMEs. In the aspect of the educational sector, where employment also is needed, I don't know from Mrs. Beauty, I know that your child is in school. So, what aspect of education do you think that should be worked on, that we should observe in terms of employment? One for the persons with disability, employment one, and also two for the children that are with disability that are in schools. What information do you think that? Because right now there are organizations, schools that are here too. So, what information do you think you should pass to them too?
Like what we've all said, more awareness. Thank God we have schools with us here. It's just for them to catch the vision and to run with it. Also employ. They can also make room for person with disabilities so that um, and also make sure that the children, the pupils in that school, they they don't discriminate. Like that of larger than high, I think they are mixed. Without the children, they don't discriminate. They see themselves as one. So if we have other schools too that can also employ some teachers with disability, it will make the children in that school too to also take the teachers as themselves as one. And I think with that would be a better place.
Thank you so much. When she said larger than high school, we have larger than high international schools, and that's an inclusion. One of our major languages is inclusion. So you see the children with special needs are there. You also see the neurotypical children there too. So they relate. They relate. Now you see the neurotypical children. When they see the children with special needs, they attend to them. They don't discriminate. So we are enforcing a kind of education in the children's mind at this young age. So when they see them in the society, they know how to relate to them better. So that's one thing that the school does here in Bioso State. Then you have something to say?
I wanted to add that even for normal schools, those that are in charge of instruction should also be able to help us with the other children. And understand that these people are part of society. I'll give you an example. We that are parents, how unknowingly, because for example, just an example, if you wanted to describe someone with a disability to your child, maybe you were telling the child something that has to refer to the person, how would you say it? You know that person, when leg bent like this, they have started creating discrimination in their minds. The person has a name. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So all these things, at the end of the day, they begin to give that child a mindset that there's something. These people are different from us. They are not the same as us. So, apart from the schools, those of us that are parents, anywhere where we must be intentional about bringing up the next generation properly, so that they can, because I begin to realize that, see, there is a thin line between ability and disability. Somebody that is able today can be disabled tomorrow. You can have an accident, your leg can be amputated, you can go blind, and then you now have to suffer the consequences of your own discrimination. So, I mean, we need to realize that, life can be very unfair, and before you know it, somebody that is able today can become disabled tomorrow. So if you come from that perspective, I think it will also help us. Thank you.
Afternoon, distinguished panel and everybody present. I was thinking in the line of what our resource person, Pastor Adebanjo just said, and what was in my mind, I gave it a name because we've all come here and we've all been sensitized. So I just want to put a name to what he said because it was also going on in my mind that even us as parents, as individuals, how do we treat people with disability? We must come to the place of acceptance. That's the word I just wanted to add to what he's saying. Acceptance. Ourselves must first of all learn to accept people with disability. And then empathy, putting ourselves in their shoes, knowing that ourselves too are not complete. Until the last day we leave this earth, we can never give ourselves definition. And so we must come to the place of acceptance and then empathy so that we are able to sell that to our children. Sometimes these things start from, like he said, even in the house. Even a child who has a disability may begin to suffer the stigma right from home. So acceptance is very key for all of us here. We have come, we have heard. So it is as if this is an opportunity for us to also go out there and tell people, while first of all we are accepting that disability is a reality, it's something that happens. And I'm thinking from the perspective of certain songs in my culture. I remember 3 songs. 2 of them talked about the agony of disability. One of them talked about barrenness as a disability, and it's an old song coming from a cultural perspective where there was only one reason why a woman is barren. She came that way from God. And then there's another song which also talked about the blind man. It's a very popular song if you're as old as I am. It described the dilemma of blindness. And then there's another song that stigmatizes the lame. It talks about a very fine man who was properly dressed, and then when he stood up, he was just sitting like a very responsible person, and then when he stood up, he was limping. And people use that song to stigmatize the lame. So these things, these facets are always in the society, but we have been informed, we've been sensitized. We must come to the place of realizing, like we've seen now, that it could have been us. So if we are not there, we should empathize and go out with this knowledge so that we can change our world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would want us to appreciate every panelist right now. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sirs. Thank you, ma, for making yourself available for this. And there's what we call inclusion propagators, and that's what we see every organization as an inclusion propagator. What the manager of Top Rank spoke of, and we are all, the change starts with us. So when Pastor Akim was speaking, he mentioned about organizations or having policies, and now having heard this, you can go and get policies that are aligned with what we've discussed about. So that is a show of one that is a self-advocate, but even as your organization, you can be an advocate about inclusion in your, everyone has a sphere of influence. So you can be an inclusion propagator. You could partner with us in whatever way you can. You could also have policies, like I said, policies that will help these persons when you see them. So it will make everyone accepted in the society. Thank you all. Thank you, panelists, for making this possible. Thank you, sir. Okay. We'll go into the next part of this program. We would have a talk. Right here with us, we have there's a child here with Down syndrome. So she has a talk to give, and listen and observe what she has to say to us today. So let's welcome our beautiful angel here with us. Yes, Miss Joanna. Just take this, please, sir.
Good days, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joanne and I'm 21 years old. I live with Down syndrome. The Down syndrome thing is all that it is not my fault or my parents' fault that I'm born with the Down syndrome. So let's know how to motion. I can feel others fulfill. Pick unto us. Love us will be acting and isolate us or them from yesterday together against loneliness. Thank you, better that I. Thank you, mom and dad, we love you.
Sorry there. Sorry there. Sorry there. That was a powerful message. That was a powerful message. Power, powerful message. Okay, so we are rounding up the program. We're getting to the end of this program. I believe it has been awesome. It has been an awesome time. So I would need to have goodwill message. I don't know if the Ministry of uh, Trade will see how if they still want to present their goodwill message from the commissioner. Okay. You can come, please. You can come. You can come here.
Okay.
You can,
Yes. No problem. Good afternoon, everybody. I just want to appreciate the organizers of this program. It's the first time I've been seeing the larger than I signpost at a PDP Road, but I didn't know that it's a school and also they have a foundation. I really want to appreciate the mama and the papa for this foundation. I think it's a good one for those of us that don't know about it. And from the commissioner's part, I just want to appreciate the mama and the papa for this program first, and also the our sweet baby here, Joanne, for her presentation. I know that the teachers have put in a lot of work on them. I really want to appreciate everybody. Then also, it's like the chairman said, it's an inclusive thing that every one of us we need to do. On the part of the ministry, we have them as a point. We have them as people. We when we want to organize this the Ediri skill acquisition, we give them the greater part. There is somebody along this street. I can't remember the street. He has Down syndrome. He's a tailor. He did the acquisition, and small he's trying to make a small clothes. People patronize him. The one that is into baking, she bakes very well because we didn't discriminate them. We gave them the right chair to sit on for them to learn. So I pray that each and every one of us that is here today, we should put that kind of love. It's love. If we don't have love, we cannot reach out to these ones. And I want to say thank you again to the founder and also to every one of us that is here. I also want to tell the I can't remember his name anyway. We spoke, Sha. But Chief, please, next time, invite the ministry. And I thought you were going to give us a lead discussion like you discussed with my PAMSEC. But it's so unfortunate that we didn't get that opportunity. But I just still want to thank you. Thank the is it Greater Than I Foundation, larger than I. I want to thank the founder also. Thank you for this privilege you gave to the ministry to be here.
good rapport we have with you personally now, we will extend that and then engage you. Even some of the time, our board of directors, because we have board of directors, board of trustees, might just come and pay you courtesy visit, because like I told her about Top Rank, what you said just now, she was very delighted because she missed some of it because of our network where she is. And together, remember that's part of the topic, together we work against loneliness. And what is the tool we are emphasizing now? Employability, access. And that's what we've discussed. Now, it doesn't end here, as you rightly said, and as you have said too. We'll make sure that we get better at doing it. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. In recognition, this office, in recognition, they wanted to give us till 2 o'clock. I said we've already rounded off because they know the logistic problem issues we had and all that. But they offered that we should go on. Said I liked, because of time wasted and all those instrument things. But we said it's all worked together for us now. So, but I think we've had a good time. Have we had a good time? Thank you so much. I know that in here there are people that have their own passion, and it might not be directly with this, but when you help other people sustain their passion for help them, you have people to help you too. It's not a one-man thing. This is my brother. We've known each other. We're part of that generation that came here to serve so many years ago. He came before me. I came 2003 to serve, and I'm still serving. But I've not gone back to my Yoruba. Now he's been here, and we've seen things that God has used him for. And I know that we always have seats like that. Please, I know that we are going here with a lot of information. But as I've heard them say in the course of the discussion, not just about saying it, but putting into practice all these things. Thank you so much for coming. We are very grateful. And I extend greetings from the founder and president, Pastor Mrs. Kemi Ogemudia. She was just with me on phone and, talking and then following the whole thing. Thank you so much for coming. I think there should be some little refreshment for you. Please, after now, we'll end the program. But personally, at least I've known our comrade here. I've known our guy here. So we have more rapport, and then strategy. That thing you told us, the strategy, we even show you some. Is this good enough? You'll be our inroad to that. And thank you so much for all you do. And I'm sure that God will reward you, and you will make this Bayelsa a better place. Huh? There's one thing that we want to start as a culture, as a good culture. Oga photo, where's going to be the best way to snap a group picture here? Okay. Please, we will clear this place, and so that we can. Do we have our banner? The banner. You are saying downstairs. Which one? Do we have our banner on the digital distance? So we put it on the downstairs is better. Okay. I was told by people that knows better that downstairs is better. So what outside will be clearer, I know that, because of the lighting of this place. We have to get extra lights. These are our lights that. So I'm sure that it's going to be better the next time we are doing it. And when we call you up, it's going to be very, very. So should we go? Okay. I'm sure that you saw books outside when you were coming. Some of the products of this ministry, you can just see them. But should we make up our mind about where we are used? Downstairs. Huh? Okay, refreshment first, and then our deaconess will help us bless the refreshment. That it will be to.
In Jesus' name, Father, we want to say thank you. Thank you for all that you have helped us to do. Thank you, Lord God, for the deliberation, for the understanding, for the together working. Father, we are grateful. Be glorified in the name of the Lord Jesus. Thank you for everyone that you have brought out to be part of this program. We are grateful, Lord. And Lord, even as we go into refreshment, we bless and sanctify them. And say thank you for the provisions. And we aid them to good health in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you very much. I think the refreshments can be served and then photo. That photo. Please, can you play some music as we serve the refreshment? Please, our humble refreshment is going to get better, as I've said. Yeah. Thank you so much. Should we try to snap here too, and then if it's not, so that we can take advantage of these lights then we will have.